Do you remember the first script you wrote? And did you
Yes.
see it? Did you make it?
The first script that I ever wrote was a. Oh man, this is nostalgia right here. I
Oh, I
love
love
it.
that question. I've been asking
Yeah.
people that question because I mean, for me, it was just a. It was way too long. It was a graphic novel. The pacing, like everything, the idea was good, but the execution was bad. And I ended up the
Right.
artist. I lost track of the artist. He fled the coop. I lost some money, and I ended up
Yeah.
printing. I printed it somewhere in my closet. It's probably an unfinished 100 page. I printed it through was it Kablam or Kaboom, the overnight printer. Oh, I forget the name of it, but I printed it through them. I still have it. It was a disaster. So when I ask people if they remember and if they made their first script, everyone has a similar. At least so far, they've had a similar
Oh
reaction. It's
man,
either embarrassed chuckles, things like
I
that.
I do have I actually have the first copy of it. My first, believe it or not, my first story, my first comic was America's Kingdom. Believe it or not, but America's Kingdom ended up taking so many forms, and if you look at the first form of it that I did, um, wow, it's so different now. But it was an earlier version of America's Kingdom, and we got through one. We actually got through one issue of it. Um, and I remember, it was just not really knowing how to go about it. It kind of fell off, and then I began something else. But then I came back to America's Kingdom again. Um, yeah, man. Like I actually have it was America's Kingdom, and then behind that, I did a comic called I Am Michael Watcher. Um, and yeah, it was wow. Like I have those. I have the physical copies of those,
That's dope.
along with the spec scripts that I did, like just stored.
You
It's
have to
yeah.
keep those. Yeah,
You
dude, I
have
have so
to.
many. I
You
might
have
have a whole binder filled with this job that I had back in around 2007 or 8. I mean, I used to sit there at the desk and as on post-it notes, just write little. I might be listening to podcasts, and if it's
to.
maybe a science-driven podcast, if they're talking about black holes or panspermia, which is the theory that Earth was seeded through space, so maybe
Mm.
some type of life was on an asteroid, it hit Earth millennia ago, that led to the sprouting of whatever life in the oceans, which led to evolution. So little things
Okay.
like that, whether or not that could be all nonsense, but hearing that, I would sit there and things like whatever I would hear, I would jot down little post-it notes and little index cards or a piece of paper and rip them and leave them in my desk. And I ended up saving every single one of them. So I
Oh,
have
that's
probably a
awesome.
hundred nonsensical just ideas from back then that I
Yeah.
definitely I would like to on this YouTube channel maybe come up with a little segment or my own solo thing where I just pick. I'll sit here and just pick five out of there and spend like 10
Yeah.
minutes just reading them and discussing how crazy or how maybe
I
there's
think that's
a hidden
cool.
brilliance in there. But just
I
going to
think you
your
should do
point,
that.
saving those
Yeah.
things. I think I have to, but actually, I think I'm going to. I act like I'm not planning on it. I had a logo made. It was called the Idea Box, and the
Uh.
I was a light bulb, but a broken light bulb.
Oh,
And then like
nice.
the X was like it was blended with a green check and then a red X. So either good idea or bad idea in the idea box. So I'll pick it out and just make
Oh, that's
make
cool.
some content out of it.
I like that idea. That's
That's
great.
pretty
I
good, right?
love
But
it.
going to your
Yeah.
point, it's saving this old stuff that we've done
Yeah.
and looking back on it and seeing the growth. Because I mean,
Hmm.
I'm sure you go look at the first issue of America's Kingdom and then the other your other spec scripts and everything, and the same as me, that old graphic novel that I never finished, and pull or find goodness out of it, or be able to point to some ideas and say, you know what, I maybe
Yeah.
I didn't execute it, but there's something in there, and that just
Yeah.
set us on the path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is well said. Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Thank you,
That's
man.
it. Yeah, man. I
um,
love that idea though. Please do it. You have to do it. That's
I
great.
I
I will
will,
watch
man.
you
I will.
100%.
And I'll bring you on to. We'll do a dual idea chest, or we'll pull out, or you'll
Oh,
read some of your spec script.
that'd be cool.
Just find the worst paragraph out of it, or at least something we could, you know,
I'm down.
in
I'm so
fun,
down
yeah,
for that.
make something silly out of it.